This is how much it costs to rebuild a salvage leader bike. So ever since I built the Gixxer 1000 and posted on YouTube, people always asking me how much it costs and if it was really worth the headache of rebuilding a salvage bike. And so I kind of wanted to make a video of just doing a completely transparent price breakdown just so you guys can get a realistic idea of what it cost. Spoiler alert, it's 100% worth it. It's so much cheaper, but with how much money you save also comes the expense of building out a garage and spending the time to do it yourself. So it's not exactly like you're just saving half the money. Like, there is a different cost to it. You know, it's just not the cost of the bike, it's other stuff. So anyways, I thought it would make sense to make a price breakdown video of the bike and combine it with the garage tour so you guys can see both. So before we get into just how much I spent on the bike, let's do the little garage tour and check it out. Obviously, spoiler alert, that is the next rebuild. You guys have already seen it now, so here you go. I'm gonna ignore this thing until the next video, so stay tuned. Starting from the outside, this is my dad's storage shed, so to me, the cost was $0. Perfect investment. We have our real leather couch. This is where my friends come and sit when they want to watch and chill. This is where my sister comes to eat her garlic bread while I callous my hands working on these things. But anyways, it's honestly a pretty cool addition to the garage. It's nice to have people just come visit. Not in the best condition. As you can see, the previous owner had a cat, so that cat destroyed this thing. I just put black electrical tape everywhere. But it's time to refinish this maybe. And I got some Velcro to put some extension cords when I'm working on the car outside. I got my brooms and stuff here. I'm kind of cleaning this up. I actually just 3D printed this, which is kind of sick. It just holds the brooms. I'm very proud of this. Alright, coming over here, this is my toolbox. I got this halfway through rebuilding this because I was just like, I just need a better way of doing this, and honestly it looks pretty good on camera too. Finally filling up the sockets. When I first got it, I think I mentioned how it was broke as hell because the trays were empty, but it's starting to look pretty. No, I like it. I like these Icon wrenches, pretty fire. Got screwdrivers, the flatheads, the Phillips, got all the other stuff, picks, Allen extension, whatever these are called. And the stickers, of course. The stickers are coming up. I also got this light, super handy. I think neon green is becoming a theme. Honestly, green is one of my least favorite colors, but that kind of changed my mind. Just like the subtle green accents, if you can even call it subtle. But yeah, so this light's pretty awesome. But yeah, so what else we got? We got plier set in here, random stuff in here. I gotta clean that up. Allen's. This is pretty cool. My wrenches. Honestly, all I really use is just this side. These are all SAE, and I just don't really do American vehicles that often. I worked on like a Ford Ranger once with my buddy, and that was kind of a nightmare just because of all the rust. But yeah, metric, pretty much my bread and butter. And then, what the hell is that? Oh hell no. Yeah, we're just gonna close this because that's a little bit more random stuff. Anyways, some boxes to store more tools. Got a shop vac, extremely useful. I actually bought it for like 30 bucks, and then I had to like pretty much fix it because everything was broken inside. I honestly just should have spent 50 bucks and bought a new one, but I got an LED light to make some fire TikToks and Instagram videos. I got this rolling thing because it was on sale to fix the BMW because I'm always under it. But fingers crossed it hasn't broken down this year. It only has been 2 weeks into 2026, so yeah. So here's I got this box with this bike. We'll talk about this in the next video, so we're just gonna ignore that. A lot of storage going on in here. Honestly, I gotta clean it up. But at some point, like, half the stuff is either in my bedroom or in the garage, and I kind of got tired of just having parts laying around everywhere and passing out next to it. Got this table, also from Harbor Freight. Honestly, it's really nice. The back is pegboard, it's not the strongest. I like the light in it too. More GSXR parts. I still have the grips I gotta put on. I don't know why I haven't done that yet, but at some point I'll probably make a video just putting carbon and the grips and all some fancy stuff on the bike. I gotta put the tank grips too. So we got our BMW's turbo in here because right before I bought the Gixxer, our engine actually blew. So I'm broke. I just spent all my money rebuilding bikes and cars. The bikes deserve to be rebuilt. The Beamer though, that does not deserve this. It's pretty cool. I love this place. When I first got it, it was completely like bare. The walls were unfinished. Ceiling was just like, you could see the seams pretty much between the panels. There was one light bulb. I think when I had a Kawasaki first, I would stand here and I would plug in like a light, and I would just plug it into there, and that thing would hang down. It would just be just enough light to work on the bike. So I pretty much painted the walls, painted the ceiling, put on this beautiful hex LED lights from Amazon. And yeah, had my sister make this at the engineering lab at her college, Munchkin Boulevard. This is actually the name of our bunny, our pet bunny. She's really sassy, so I'll try to get a video for her later, but we'll see if she wants to come out. Got the bicycles. I don't know if you guys care about that. This was cool. This is like $15. It's heavy as hell. It's like a steel bike. But this, this is like a 20-year-old bike, but if you look close, all of it is carbon fiber, even the frame. So it's an old bike. Obviously there's better now, but I kind of wanted to make my own. It's a lot of Amazon and eBay parts. I think the wheels are from Amazon too, but they honestly do the job. They're kind of sick. My boy hates it because it's so much money for an old bike, but it looks so sick. And it rides kind of nice too. It's not the best, but it's mad fun. Yeah, as you can see, it's like Tetris in here. I'm running out of space. This bike just barely fits under it by the wall. Yeah, so it's really filling up. I feel like I need a bigger garage or somewhere to put all the useless stuff. Got the M Power flag, even though I don't have any M's, not even a baby M. I have been thinking, like, every time I build a bike, I feel like it'd be a good idea to buy the company flag. So I ordered a Kawasaki flag, even though I didn't do that for YouTube. I did the Suzuki flag because that one's done. And I think I might hang it up right here, like vertically. So each time we build a bike, we just got a little flag to put up. But yeah, for the garage door, that's it. Small space, nothing crazy, but gets the job done. There's the Beamer, by the way. Look at that. It's lowered on H&R springs. My brother actually did that. So that's it for the garage tour. Let's open up the Excel sheet and see how much this baby costs to build. So how much did it cost to rebuild my 2022 Gixxer 1000? Here's the Excel sheet. As you can see, these are the main repairs the bike needed. I noted which ones are OEM, what is aftermarket, and I was just kind of coloring them in green or yellow when I bought them and then when I got them delivered and stuff like that. As you can see, Facebook, eBay were my go-tos. So easy to find the parts you need on there. Cycle gear was good too. That was just for the tires and balance. Only thing that did not work out in this Excel sheet is the fairings. As you can see, I never highlighted green because they took like 3 months to come. So I expected them in June. They ended up coming in like August, I think. Tisk tisk. You can see here that the total is $5,200. Now, that is true, but there is a lot of parts that I'm yet to sell, like the rear wheel. I have a whole box of just some of the plastics that survived the accident, the full stock exhaust, a lot of things. So I think realistically that price is more like 45 and up, around 4,500, let's say that. So the bike cost 5K and then the total was around, let's say 45. So just under 10K is what this bike cost me to build. Now, I did also spend around $600 on truck rentals. I had to get a Home Depot van to drive to Philly, pick up the bike, drive it back, and there's gas too. And then I also had to rent a truck and trailer to take it to the salvage inspection, get it inspected, and then trailer it back home, and then drop the truck off. And then the craziest thing is I failed the inspection the first time because of my exhaust, so I had to do that twice. So around $500 to $600 is how much I spent on trucks. That hurts my soul. I think the next purchase, we definitely gotta buy a K-truck, or something like that, a little bit more practical. But yeah, so, and then also just like fees and paperwork, inspection fees, the taxes, the registration. I think that also added another like $600-700. So, you know, I think right around 11K all in is what this cost me to do. So, as you can see, my expected amount versus my actual is a little bit higher. So I actually saved on the majority of things I bought. And that's because instead of buying brand new aftermarket, I ended up finding some really good deals on used OEM stuff. Like for example, if you guys remember from the second video when I went and met Land in New York, the guy with the cool beamers and stuff, he gave me a bunch of OEM parts because he was converting his Gixxer into just a roll racing demon. So all the OEM like headlights, all that stuff he didn't need. So I got a nice bulk package for that, $600. And it's crazy because I was expecting to pay almost $1,200 on aftermarket parts. So it's kind of wild how that worked out. A lot of things I still need to sell, like carbon. I didn't even use the carbon tank guards or the carbon swing arm guard yet. I kind of want to put the carbon swing arm guard, but I feel like it would look better if I got a carbon swing arm, a carbon guard for the frame too, so it would match. So all in, 9.5 to rebuild the bike and 1.5 for paperwork and fees. If I was solely doing this to flip the bike and not make content or not really care about the quality, to be frank, I think realistically you could do this for $7,000 to $8,000 for a current gen leader bike. And that sounds kind of crazy, but I've seen people who've done it. Like I kind of, like for example, the fairings, I spent $600 on them. You could get $300 eBay fairings. You know, that fitment and the paint wouldn't be the best, but it would work. The dash, I spent $1,200 on it. You could just buy an OEM brand new one for I think $700 or $800, but then you get a 0-mile odometer, and you know that's just something you gotta deal with. Or you can even buy a used odometer, but then it's whatever the old bike's current mileage was. So again, something you have to deal with. Honestly, on top of that, I think the GSX-R's OEM dash kind of sucks. It's LCD. I don't think a current gen leader bike should be rocking that. So honestly, this is a worthwhile upgrade. I liked it. If you're trying to achieve an OEM plus finish, then yeah, like you're gonna be spending some money. You'll still save a lot of money, but there's some things you just gotta do. But if you're just trying to get a bike that you want to rip around, do wheelies on, and you don't really care about the details, I think 7K you could have like a brand new bike. I hope my mom doesn't watch this, but 10K is what it cost to build a current gen leader bike. Alright guys, so that's it for today. I hope you liked that video, and I hope it gave y'all some clarity on what it takes to do these things. This is so much fun. Honestly, it's not even about the money for me. Like, flipping bikes is cool, but it's a few $1,000s like a year. But getting to own and experience a current gen bike when you're in your 20s is such a crazy experience. I think we all watch YouTube and kind of get desensitized to everyone driving the craziest vehicles. Like people who are barely 20, and I think you just gotta understand, like, these are some crazy toys to be having. and I am so thankful that I can. Dreams come true. Next Saturday, we are starting work on the Honda CBR 1000 RR. It's a 2021. This thing's sexy. Last video, I showed y'all stuffing this bike in the back of a Honda Odyssey. So yeah, next video I'll put in the whole thing. It's pretty fun. Yeah, thanks for watching. Goodbye.